So in this video, I've just pushed the bike out from where it was. It was sitting between my other two bikes. Actually, I have a third bike, a fourth bike actually, up in the house. I have a Moto Guzzi Griso. So anyway, what I wanted to show you guys is this little adjustment knobby here. This is for the anti-dive unit. What happened when I was rebuilding the suspension, that knobby fell apart when I took the bike apart. And then I got distracted while I was putting the shock together, and I crushed the spring and there was a little piece in there. I can't remember exactly what it was. So I went ahead and bought a used shock, and I took the knobby off of that. I kept the pieces for some reason. I can't remember why. And then internally, I took the little piece that I damaged and put it back into that shock. So the bike is back to its original spec. So those who don't know, this is the anti-dive unit. Literally speaking, the brake caliper joins over here. It's mounted here, and then when you hit the brakes, it pulls this out and it shuts off the oil from returning back to the shock. So it slows that dampening down so she doesn't dive in the front. So a pretty simple system. But anyway, so this is included in the bike. The chrome part of this wasn't great. The chrome was better on the original bike, so I didn't use this, but you're welcome to it. Like I said, it's a bit bulky to ship, but it's there if you want it. I just wanted to cover a few things on the bike. The paint job on this bike was okay, wasn't perfect. A little bit of orange peel back on here. Over here, there's a little, I don't know if it was a run that was tried to fix, but anyway, and then there's a few little spots that really could do with somebody that knows what they're doing to buff it out. I don't have the confidence to do that. So if you get the bike and you wanted to improve it anyway, you know, a little bit, I would say certainly somebody that knows what they're doing to buff out the clear coat and take out some of those impurities in the paint. Again, not bad. I did want to point this out, both sides. This is from my boots. They've rubbed through. I did paint the exhaust system while I had it off with some ceramic paint. But then I think I got on the bike a little bit too soon. It hadn't had time to fully cure. So I did run my boots both sides through the paint. So that could do with a touch-up. Another thing is, when I originally got the bike, it did have a small leak on the gear shifter seal. So I had this off, put a new seal in it. Again, I tried to use Honda parts, genuine Honda parts where I could. One thing I did do, I've ridden dirt bikes for many years. This has a switch that won't let you start the bike or put it in gear. It'll kill the engine. So that switch is included, but I deleted it again just from dirt bike days. If I don't know, if you can't take care of yourself, I mean, if you want to drive off with the side stand down, then so be it. But the minute you touch anything, she's going to come back up anyway. But those have been a bit of a bear over the years, especially when you get into the dual sport bikes like this. That one was deleted, not by me, but the guy that I bought it from. Over there, I've got a V-Strom, which I converted to a dual sport. You can see I put knobbies on it. Took a lot of weight out of it, but that's anybody that wants to get into the big adventure bikes but doesn't want to spend a lot of money. That was my cure. I wasn't sure if I could handle such a big bike now at my age. So anyway, that is a V-Strom, just modified by me. And again, on this one, I did the same thing. I deleted the side stand because I did notice on this bike, when I started taking her off-road, that the engine would cut on and off as this literally just vibrated like that. And so that's why the dirt bike guys take them off in the first place. So the next thing is the turn signals. I think one of them is non-original. I painted the two back ones. I tried to buy Honda originals, and I did find a couple. And then what I did is, the couple that I found, the wiring was the wrong color. So I pulled them all apart. It was obviously for a different part of the bike. So I pulled them all apart and put the original wiring back into an original housing, but I kind of mixed and matched. So there's a couple of spare lenses in there. This is another thing. This is a brand new fuel petcock, but it's an aftermarket one. I couldn't find a petcock for this bike, which is why I rebuilt it. But I do feel that at some point I think you can buy it piece by piece by piece, but it gets expensive. I did see a little bit of corrosion in it, where the aluminum's turned to that white powdery stuff. I did clean it up, put the kits in, got it running. It doesn't leak, works on reserve. But I think in the future you could either try this aftermarket one, or not. Maybe you guys are luckier than me. This is the original hose for that vacuum line that goes from the petcock to the number 2 cylinder. Again, I just put a longer one on, more flexible, so that I can do my little priming. This is the original clutch kit. Again, it measured out exactly as the aftermarket kit that came with it, and of course I used the original springs, but I put it in here for reference. There's a few bits and pieces in here. This is the O-ring. I'll try and put a little label on this, but this is the original O-ring. When you pull the fuel gauge off from the bottom of the tank, that's the O-ring for that. I bought 2. Of course I used 1. I didn't want to unwrap this right now, but this is the original windshield for the bike, and these are the little clips, and I've got the brand new clips. If you want to put this back on, make it original. Again, somebody knows what they're doing could maybe polish this up and get all those little hazy marks out of it. Again, not me. I kept the original seat cover. Again, throw it away, you know, or keep it, but I figured it was nice to have a reference of what the original seat cover looked like, so I kept that. A sample only. The guy I bought the bike from had replaced this switch. I think this had broken off, and it looks like maybe the horn wasn't working, so it does have an aftermarket one of those on. Not an aftermarket, I mean just a really good used one, but I kept it. It's always nice to have stuff like this. Seems to be a set of throttle cables in here as well. Again, I believe he replaced those. Looks like he broke one of them and replaced both, so they go with the bike. Again, here, these are the original footrests. Looks like, let's see, I think that one, yeah, it looks like that one goes there. But anyway, so if you want to put this back to original, just unbolt these. I bought 2 sets so that I could get these pieces, and so I actually do have another set of these, but they weren't in as good a condition. But this is just going to be a bolt on, put it back to stock if and when you're ready. Again, there's the rub marks from my boots. Hasn't really bothered me too much, but definitely could be better if you wanted to spend a bit of time on that. I did put the seat back on, and then the other thing I wanted to cover, again, I'm 6 foot tall, so with the original foot pegs and the original foam, I found that I was a bit cramped on the bike if I rode it for more than an hour. So what I did is I put these on, just got them off eBay, 1.5 inch drop here, which helped. And then this Airhawk seat goes with the bike if you want it. If you guys are familiar with it, the big thing here is because of the surface area, I don't sink into the original foam as much. And I think overall, I probably stay 1.5 inches taller because I'm not sinking in as much. So I gained 3 inches for me to be comfortable on the bike. Now, I've been on a few 400-mile rides with the bike since I've had it, and I'm quite comfortable now. So again, this will go with it. There's little straps. I'll have to find them. There's little straps, and then you can air these little cells up as firm as you want them. The only problem with this is if I'm riding through the mountains, call it more aggressively, I don't like the movement. So I like it for the comfort. I don't like it for if you're kind of having a little bit of fun with the bike. As far as horsepower goes, these were rated at 80 horsepower. The horsepower, the engine is just very linear, but they really come alive up around 8,000 RPM. They really go very well for an 80 horsepower bike, very well. A friend of mine that I ride with has a Moto Guzzi TT850. If I'm at idle, we both did a couple of roll-ons. If I'm kind of on the tack around 4,000 RPM, his Guzzi will actually pull me for a little bit before, and when the RPMs come up, this bike just reels him back in, and his is rated at 80 horsepower as well. So I'd honestly say the 80 horsepower is still alive and kicking in this bike. Anyway, let's leave it at that for now.